Alrighty, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Just trying to see who's here. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, Kevin. Thanks for commenting. Let's wait and see when this gets up. I'm just adding in a little light. And we're getting rolling here. All right, I'm getting all my notifications are going off like crazy because I'm doing this, and so just getting everything set up. Want to see, give some people some time to join in here. Now, let me know who's on here in the chat, and come in, get in and say your hellos. Hey, Nancy, thank you for being here. I was just mentioning you because there's some stuff I want to bring up in this one. That was something that you found in one of the videos. I'm pretty sure it was you, and you'll be able to clear that up here. So, sorry, all my notifications go off like crazy when I do something. So, hello, MT. Hey, thanks for joining me. MT, we got some, I got some videos with him that'll be coming out here. Hello, Eric. Thanks for joining. I know it's Friday night, and usually I put a video out on Fridays, so it's like, yeah, doing a Q&A. Hello. I'm not sure. Mike, I think that's Mike. How's it going there? Alrighty. Glad you joined me. So normally I would have a video out. YouTube has held it in processing and didn't release it until like a few minutes before I started this live stream. So I did everything on my end to put a video out, and YouTube said, nah, you're not doing one today. So, yeah. Okay, and I don't know if he was doing a live tonight. I didn't check with him. Busy day for me. I spent probably 5 hours out hiking and checking out some areas in the daytime, and I did yesterday as well. So I covered it. Hey, Ken. All right, Ken is on here. A question before I get started. Go ahead, Ken. You got the platform. Ask away. While he's getting the question typed in there, I'll just say this. So the initial plan was to put out I wanted to do a live stream here, and I was thinking like Saturday or Sunday. And then, hey, we got John, the llama walker, is on. Yeah, John, me and John, we're really getting it in today. And hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining me. Ken said, is it true you misspelled? Gosh. Okay, everyone in the comments, read Ken. Oh gosh, Ken's comment here. I gotta add you. Ken is a lifelong friend who we met when we were in third grade, I think it was, and so we went through high school together and pretty much life together. Bigfoot sightings and everything like that. Ken was always with me. Yes, it is true, Ken, that I did misspell the word moot. But, at this point, Ken, I'm going to say that's a moot point. So, yeah, but I did misspell the word moot on a spelling test in English in my senior year. I just had one of those moments. I have more of those moments now that I'm older. Oh, dear Lord. You get me laughing, though. I like that. Okay, so yesterday I was out checking out a couple areas, doing some shorts, checking out I got the new iPhone 17. I know I've put out one little short video with it. But I haven't done, I did some day stuff with it. I have not used this for a night hike yet, the iPhone 17. So all the hikes that you're going to see here at night that'll be coming out here, that's still going to be with the old iPhone 14. This iPhone 17, though, I am just absolutely impressed with. I could read facial expressions off of people from 100 yards away. I'm like blown away by how good this thing is. And the more I try and play around with it here too, the more I'm impressed with it. So I'm definitely got to say, it's like really good, just really good. This camera is phenomenal, and so happy about that. And yeah, oh gosh, yeah, jeez. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the comments there on that. I have to look at the comments on the side, cameras in the front. So if you see me turning my head, it's to check some of the comments. I don't quite have the same setup that Jack does. And yeah, I would agree with that, Stacy, that this phone, I cannot believe how great this camera is now. I haven't tested it out really for night yet, but we will be here soon. I do have some really good ones. Actually, I should take that back. I just did a night hike with it. And I'll start off with a couple of things. I went to go do a night hike. I went to go to an area that I only hit like once or twice a year. So it's an area that doesn't have a lot on it. I just kind of named it myself because it's my own private location. And oh dear Lord, Ken's just giving me some more of the ribbing there. So I was checking out an area I call the marsh, and gosh, it's an area where I caught some of the rocks flying at me. I caught them visually because it like flung at least a dozen, half a dozen plus rocks into the water at me, and a couple more on that like missed the water and hit on the land. But I was going to walk into the woods, and all of a sudden on my setup here, I have the thermal camera mounted on top of the regular, on top of the iPhone, and I have the two flashlights mounted on each side of it, so I can do a lot of hands-free stuff. Well, all of a sudden the thermal camera fell off when I tried to turn it on, and I could not get. Yes, Ken. Yeah, Ken just started laughing at me, and I'm just like, oh gosh. So I could not. It fell off, and it would not like screw back on. And I'm like, I literally had to go back to my car, sit down, and I'm in a creepy place where I had to lock the doors, and because it's just really creepy out there. I'm out southern Ashtabula County where there's just nobody around, and it is creepy out there. And there's another one though. I think I got followed all the way to the parking lot, and but I couldn't see. So anyway, the thermal camera, it's not working. So I take one of the flashlights off the side and use the screw for that, and I screw that in. And as I'm screwing it in, I feel it snap, and I'm like, the screw snapped into the hole that holds it on top. So my thermal camera has a screw stuck in there. So what I do with all my mechanical problems is I go over to my brother, and he actually has to buy a certain drill bit to try and get it out. He could not get it out. It's like jammed in there. So right now my thermal camera is like out of action. Yeah, oopsie, was right. And I'm trying to do a hike. So I'm like, well, I'm not canceling the hike, but I just wrecked stuff. So where now I don't have one camera on the side, or one flashlight on the side, and I lost my thermal camera. So, and then I was having some large rocks thrown at me like crazy, and could not get a thermal image, or no thermal image to check out. And so I have actually did poking around in the daytime and stuff. I actually did a video, the daytime video that'll be coming up here in a little bit. And I gotta ask you guys a bunch of questions here too. This is why this is Q&A, because let's see, I'm gonna be asking you guys some questions, wanting your input on stuff. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been putting out a lot more shorts that, just of some of just the beautiful scenery. That's just literally all these places you're seeing are, within a 20-minute drive of my front door. And I want to know if you guys like that stuff. Gorilla glue on the screw. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read that. Yeah, we tried a whole bunch of stuff. My brother has some professional tools. He's a mechanic for removing like strip screws and everything like that. And yeah, so, well, Ken, if the screw was loose, I wouldn't have had a problem. But but yeah, so that, and the thermal cameras, I looked, I've seen it's dropped on its price just a little bit, but when I purchased it, it was $600. I think I can get it for like $570, but $570 is not like, I can't just replace. I just can't replace. It's like you just can't replace that overnight. So we're special ordering a drill that will fit into it, because it's got to be a left-handed drill, so that you can drill it in and then back it out and take the screw out with it. My brother's a professional at this. He's had to work with that a lot with vehicles that had strip screws and everything, because he's a mechanic. So, but yeah, that is Tracy, and she mentioned Gorilla Glue, and when I worked at the prison, when I was union union president, I had to represent somebody that the management wanted to discipline because he told an inmate who needed his glasses fixed that he needed Gorilla Glue, and another inmate said, another inmate of a certain color got very offended that he used the word gorilla. And I had to represent him, and I ended up winning that and getting his disciplinary charges thrown out. But they ended up, the prison ended up issuing a memo to everyone that henceforth that the word gorilla will not be used in any context. That's why I'm glad I'm retired. So, all right. So going back to some of the stuff here now, me and John, yesterday, John got a gift there of someone working his overtime, and he had some time, so he said, come on, let's go for a walk in the woods. Let's go to Indian Mound. Hey, Todd, and I want to mention Todd. Todd's from Minnesota, northern Minnesota. He just sent me another trail cam, a really cool trail cam. Didn't make me pay anything for it. He just sent it to me out of the kindness of his own heart. And it is one that is Wi-Fi connected. It'll connect to my phone. And so I looked at that camera, and man, he sent me one hell of a camera that is like, there's not nothing was cheap on that. Right, Ken. Well, it's funny because if you say Harambe, nobody had a problem with that. But if you said Gorilla Glue, which is an actual product, they had a problem with it. So, all right. So I know that's, but I'll digress from my prison stories. And so we, anyway, so me and John, we go out to Indian Mound Park, and that's one of my favorite places, and John loves that too. And we're just taking a walk and talking and BS and not videoing anything. And John has a little video up on his channel from just panning around along the Conneaut Creek. We're under drought conditions here, and that's going to play a factor, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But so there's some areas where you can literally you can zigzag across the creek, and or you could stand out on the creek bed and get some awesome video shots. John put up a really beautiful shot of the Conneaut Creek on there from that. And so then after he took that shot, we walked deeper into the woods. And now this spot here in Indian Mound, the deer are so used to me that they will walk along with me. They'll come up. There's times that I've gotten as close to 50 feet away from the deer without them running from me. And they usually don't run anyway. They'll like walk away or whatever, but they never, the deer don't run from me down there. And yes, Ken, this is an area, Indian Mound Park. I've talked about this a lot. Me and Ken, we have a deep love and connection to that spot, and lots of epically scary, creepy stuff happened to us there as kids. That's why it's my favorite spot. So we're walking back, and I see the deer, but I see them running away from me. And I even say to John, I said, look, the deer, I said, they're running away. And I'm like, that's odd. They usually don't do that here. I said, that's like something's chasing them or something. And we take a few more steps walking. And after the deer got out of sight, we hear something. And now John is the ultimate skeptic on here, and he can back me up on this. But we hear something push over a tree, and it was loud, and it really got our attention. And I now believe that's number 7. That's the 7th time that happened to me. This one, though, was not on video. We were just sitting there chit-chatting about life, about politics, about, everything. So we weren't videoing. We're just going in the woods. That's what we love. That's what we love to do. So not every time I'm in the woods, there's not a camera on all the time. But I love going out and spending the time in the woods. So now the tree gets pushed over, and I mean loud, and it sounded like it was a very large tree. But like what I heard is, I heard like it get rocked first, like it got a hit, boom, and then you hear it go back and forth, and then all of a sudden it just went over. You hear it push right over, and so that was epically creepy. And it was about 3:30 in the afternoon when this happened. And I told John this there after we went back and we tried to look around. We couldn't find anything. Couldn't find what tree went down. We had nothing else happen. No rocks thrown at us, no noises. I think we had a I can't remember if we heard a strange noise down there that we couldn't, and then followed by a dog barking, but we couldn't make out what had made the noise either. And it was kind of in the distance. But I was telling John, theorizing we interrupted one of these things hunting some of the deer. And I'll tell you, because of the drought, everything is moving down to the water. The Conneaut Creek's low, but there's still substantial water there. And everything here is, because our drought is like moved up. We were in the minor category. We've moved up a notch in that category here. And so it's like all the animals that before were able to stay on the higher ground are having to come down into the Conneaut Creek to try and find water, or go up along the Lake Erie shore, because a lot of the tributaries have completely dried up. And so it's a time frame where you're gonna find the best wildlife right in that Conneaut Creek Valley, because it's still got plenty of water in it. And what it looks like though is we messed up its hunt, and the deer got away, and this thing threw a little temper tantrum at us and pushed over the tree. Is the best that I can figure out what happened. So I was off later that evening out doing some stuff there, and John's messaging me that tree falling in the woods. he's still a little geeked. That one got John's attention real good. And he's like, oh, we got to go back out there tomorrow. So as soon as I got a chance there early afternoon, me and John went back out there, and um, yeah. Oh yeah, Ken. That was one of the times we had one of our sightings. Was we remember we knocked over their structure, but um, we so we are going off trail and going deep back into the woods off the path, and even to the point where I'm like a little turned around. I couldn't even figure out where the path was anymore. John found it. I couldn't even find my way out at that point. We wandered in so deep, and we found the best I could call it is like a stick structure. And because I show this to John, because I know John's very logical, very intelligent, and very skeptical of everything. And I said, John, look at this. And I said, you really think that was natural formed? And John's even saying, no way. And I said, we're clearly in an area where people are not walking back here. There's nothing. There's zero signs, not trash, not anything back there. There's no signs. Yeah. And so I did a little short video of that that I'm going to put out tomorrow. But so now at one of my favorite places that I really haven't done a night hike there in a while, we had a tree push over and found a stick structure during the daytime. But it's like, oh, so I got a kind of a busy schedule on this, but I got to try to fit that in to the rotation to get a night hike in there. And so me and John were exploring across several areas, especially my home area there at Center Street Access, which is really, it's like adjacent to the Indian Mound property. But because we had some of the people that get food for the homeless people told us there was an area where a bunch of them were moving in there, and we went over to check it out, and we could not find any homeless people. We could not find any signs that people were back there at all. Found a few game trails that were clearly deer, and that's it. And then Center Road Access, we were back there. That was where they tore up the area of the woods. We went to one of the meetings, me and John, and we got, it's for the Ohio's Wild and Scenic River program. So we went to their meetings, got to talk to quite a few people. Very good. It was very good. We got all the information of what was going on with that, and that area where they tore up all the trees. We went there to ask them, like, why did you have all those trees tore out like that? And they said, because we snapped pictures and sent them into the head of that group, and they said we're not supposed to do that. The contractors just kind of went nuts back there and did their own thing, and they were ticked off at the contractors. Well, thanks for joining me. So we got some good information on their plans on there, and they made the contractors replant trees back there. And I mean, it'll take decades before they're back to the size they were. But we did go back there and confirm they did that, and they are getting ready to take out that old dam. So we're here. That's next. So we walked back there and checked on things, and also made sure that there were no homeless people anywhere around there. We were able to crisscross the creek and check and make sure no homeless people back there at all, because that's an area I get rocks thrown at me like crazy back there. And I've had people, my naysayers, get on there and tell me, well, there's homeless people back there. So I'm like, so I literally, me and John with a witness, went back there and we cleared the area. No homeless people back there. So, and we found one that, that I had called the police on and had them clear the guy out, and asked them to get the people out. We went over there and verified that camp was gone, but they left piles and trash in the woods, and we were able to snap pictures of that and send that into that head of that Wild and Scenic River program so that we could have it reported to the state that these homeless people are littering up the woods along a scenic river. So that's kind of a no-no. They kind of take notice of that real quick when it's on their one of their wild and scenic rivers. Yeah, homeless Sasquatch. I don't know. I think they figure out some way to be. But I can tell you, it's not feral people or homeless people, whatever you feel like calling them. It's not them. I can tell you that. We cleared it. Same thing with Camp Pete. Camp Pete, Tinker's Hollow, we've kind of cleared those areas of people activity, and we put trail cameras up that if there were people, they'd have got caught. They'd have got on camera, and nothing shows up on camera. We're clearing it, and they say we're doing this. They're investigations, and what we're doing is I'm trying to get this stuff so that if I presented it to a jury, that they can definitely say there's reasonable doubt in their mind that there is one of these creatures in the woods, and that's not human activity. That's one of my goals with this. So one of the other things I was looking at doing, yes, the rock magnet, yes. October, okay. October is this is like prime time season for us. What I've noticed in the time that I've been doing these hikes here is the late September through the end of October is without a doubt the best time of the year for catching our activity. So I'm going to try to get out and get some good hikes in. This weekend, I will be taking a trip down to Oil City, Pennsylvania, in the Allegheny Mountains, and I will be meeting up with a guy that I did a video with down there before. That runs he runs a channel called Cryptovania, kind of like Pennsylvania, only with cryptid instead of the pen. He's a guy who's he got into this subject because he's been in like 8 or 9 B grade Sasquatch movies. He's one of the ones that ends up getting killed by Sasquatch all the time. So I kind of joke with him on that and be like, "Hey, Sasquatch kill you lately?" So, so we're also I talked to MT just before we started this, and MT's going to come up here, and we're gonna get a spot in. And I don't know if MT's watching, but MT, if you're watching, I talked to the property owner, and we're a go for that. We're gonna be I have like I said, I have this weekend booked with stuff, places we're gonna hit, and then MT's gonna be up here, and we got 1 or 2 spots that we're gonna try to hit when he's up here, and after that, then I'm gonna try to get into some of these other areas. Mark, thanks for joining. And yeah, Ken, I'll try to get you some of the names of the ones he's in. I know he said he's currently filming one called Pigman. But this guy is definitely a Bigfoot believer. Looks a little bit kind of like he could be on Duck Dynasty. And he said he's having to keep that look for his movie role. He said normally he doesn't look that way. But, so then again, so the Oil City place in Oil City, I'm not sure where we're going to go with that, but that'll be a brand new area. Boy, yeah, you guys, did you watch my 2 hikes that I did in Michigan? Oh my gosh, did I have some epically creepy nights. One of the other things, a trend that's starting to happen with me here is when I am doing the intro or getting ready to do my intro, I'm usually out in this, I'm out in the spot where I'm going to hike, where I do the intro. And I have had like 4 or 5 times now I think it's literally like 5 out of my last 7 hikes. Something has happened either just before I turned that camera on to do the intro or right after it. Me and John were in Bigfoot Canyon. We got out of the car, couldn't even get our boots on, and something started winging rocks at the guardrail and clinking them off there, pretty loud too. And when I was at the one in Michigan, when I was solo, before I could even turn the camera on, something whipped a stick from behind me. It literally came over my shoulder, which really had me creeped out because it was already dark there when I started. And I got that on before I could even do that, and I was like geeked out for the whole hike because like that first incident had me I don't want to say scared, but it had me unnerved. And then I had gosh, I've had some other things. Things just keep happening during my intros. So, and to where like it literally will start to geek me out, and before I can even get that camera turned around, I'm having stuff happen already. And so yeah, and oh gosh, were those great hikes. The one with Zach. Zach's a brave kid, but what he had told me about that area, I didn't fully go into the story of why he said why he picked that area. Him and a few of his friends, now Zach is 17. He had like 3 or 4 of his friends that were all 17 years old there, and they went over there. There's a picnic table that's literally kind of off the path and not really noticeable, but him and a few of his friends went back there in the evening, and they were sitting back there just goofing around, having a good time. And as it got dark, now they brought no flashlights with them, they just had their cell phones. They started hearing stuff moving around, and what he said was on 2 feet. And you got to understand, northern Michigan, these kids are all hunters. Yeah, up there in Minnesota, yeah. I'd say, sometime here, man. We just got to figure out traveling, because there's a lot of these places I'd like to go. But so he said that he's like, they all looked at each other and they were all creeped out. Oh wow. Hello Melbourne, Australia. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that. Wow. Alrighty. I'm humbled and thankful that you are here with us. He says they got totally creeped out. They were hearing some stuff in there, and they said they were hearing the footsteps. And what they did was they looked at each other, and neither of them said a word. They just got up and they just took off to the car and got out of there. And he said, yeah, I'm scared to go back there. And I said, well, that sounds like a good place for us to go then. And he kind of looks at me and says, don't worry, I'm armed. So don't worry, I still want, but as you guys know, I got that long law enforcement experience. And what I've been doing is with these things is I have been, on any of these hikes, I'm studying behavior, and I'm like behavior profiling on these things. And I was telling John this, I'm getting to some of the things where no, he wasn't armed at 17. He didn't have nothing. I was. Although he does go hunting, so yeah, you can still go rifle hunting at 17. You just can't carry a hand. 17-year-olds can't carry handguns. But so they just all looked at each other. They got up and left. And so anyway, when I tell them that, so when he comes back there, we're looking at all the apple trees and everything, and I'm like, this is going to be a great area. The apple trees alone, I think, will have stuff in, and they're actually in a little bit worse of a drought up where he is, in that northern lower peninsula, than over here in Northeast Ohio. And we were along this was something cool. I have never run across this in the woods, but we came across a natural spring. He didn't realize it was there. We found that, and um, yeah, Ken, they always took your powdered donuts every time we went camping. So they would constantly, something would come into our camp and steal Ken's powdered donuts. Um, so uh, after the first rock got thrown at us, I mean, he heard it. He was like, "Oh wow, oh wow!" And like then you had the second, third, and he was getting totally geeked out, and it was kind of unnerving for me because then we were hearing stuff moving through the woods. And you had coyotes start going off, and some of them sounded bigger than coyotes. But Michigan does have some wolves there too. So it may have been a pack of wolves that we were catching on there. Then owls started hooting. All the stuff started just going off nuts, and we were just getting rocks thrown at us. And the thing that we noticed is it was always where the rocks were coming over our shoulders from our back, which was really, really unnerving because it wasn't hitting any other trees. It was just literally coming over our shoulder, which means it had to be out on the path to throw it and not hit any trees, which is really, that's really unnerving. So something was literally stepping out onto the path and whipping rocks at us, and that close. They were that close. So I gotta say, of all my hikes this year, that one takes the cake. That one was the creepiest, the scariest, the most active, you name it. And it ranks up there of one of my all times. That one's probably a top 5 most active and epically creepy hikes I've done. You know, that ranks right up there with Tinker's Hollow and with Friends of Conneaut Creek and Claim 2. This one's that place that we went to that Zach picked is right up there along with that. And if I wasn't 9 hours away from there, I'd be hitting that spot on a regular basis. So do imagine, because I usually try to get up there once a year. Next time I'm up there, we'll try to hit that spot. Another thing I wanted your input on the short videos that I've been putting out. For those of you on here that have been watching that, really, I'd like to know like some of your input. Do you like seeing those shorts? And the Jumbo Woods one, and this one, Nancy. This was you come in there because I'm on that bridge getting ready to talking about that, saying, hey, we might do a hike in there, and then someone fired a dang shotgun off, like pretty darn close to me, and startled the heck out of me because it's bow season right now. People aren't supposed to be out hunting with shotguns. And I checked Pennsylvania, same thing, same as Ohio right now. Somebody was out there shooting a shotgun off in those woods, and after I turned the camera off, because I only did like a little less than 3-minute video, someone fired a couple more shots, and Nancy said, don't go out there tonight, because I was like, well, I'm going to go out there. And Nancy says, don't go out into that area alone right now. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to listen to her tonight. I was like, because I'm like, all right, I'm going to wait, but that Jumbo Woods is going to be on the area, and Jumbo Woods is right next to one of our viewers, Patty. It's right next to her house, and that's where I was on that bridge. I was literally like right next to her. I was right near her property, too. But yeah, someone started firing off that shotgun, and they were like way too close to. It was way too close to me. So, thank you, Nancy. And she put on there, said, we want you around. Now, I got to tell you this, too, because I've told a lot of you guys, you know, some of my stories about, you know, the doctor saying, you know, don't plan on having a long life and all that stuff, and all the stuff that I've been dealing with. Well, I do have to say, that was at the VA facility in Erie, Pennsylvania. I have now fired all of them, and I'm like paying out of my own pocket for some of my care, and I'm going back to my original doctor that's helping me. And what I've been doing, because what I've had to do since I've been with the VA, is I've had to be my own doctor. So because that, you know, I've never seen of, like, because my list of allergies to different medications and everything is just growing. And so I've had to be my own doctor. And I got to say, now I just had my doctor check me and do blood work. And I have done, and I'm not gonna brag too much because I'm gonna give credit to the Lord on this. Yeah. Yeah, John heard the phone call where I fired him. So John was next to me when I told him you're fired. So, but he said he could not believe, like, the blood work, the numbers and everything on it, like for cholesterol, blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. He's like, whatever you're doing a phenomenal job. He's like, you haven't been in this good of health in 5 years. And over 5 years, he was saying, since you came back from Afghanistan, he says, I haven't seen you in this good of health. I haven't seen your blood work come back in these kind of numbers. And my doctor, he's got all the VA records now too. I got all the records over to him. And so he says, you keep doing the stuff you're doing. Well, I've become, I don't know if you want to call it allergic or something like that, to basically the two primary types of pain pills, the ibuprofen, Tylenol, and aspirin. It's the same thing happens if I drink a glass of milk when I take those medicines. I get violently ill. So, Bigfoot Mama, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so he said your health is doing phenomenal, and what I can say is no thanks to the VA, and I am going to dog on them right now because they're terrible. And it was very much a lot of satisfaction when they called me today for me to interrupt them and say, look, you're fired. You have no say in my medical care ever again. It was actually pretty fun to say that. So, because I couldn't get appointments, I couldn't get prescriptions filled, nothing. So I had to do all of this stuff on my own. And I do say I did take some counsel from the chiropractor. So health-wise, I'm doing better. Shoulder's still not 100%, but it's improving. So I still can't really do a real good softball throw yet with a rock yet, but it's getting better. And it's able to carry the weight of the tactical vest now. So things are looking up. And like I said, I'm excited for what we're going to be getting into here. Things I wanted to know from you guys. Do you guys like the short videos that I've been putting out too? And then I'm looking at what I want to know. I want to get your guys' input. And what I want to do is put a poll out so that everybody can click on and do your vote. I want to put out 5 or 6 different areas or whatever and do a viewer's choice hike. Now, and I know very, very few of you guys have been to these areas personally, but I'll try to, what I'm going to do is try to go through all my videos and categorize them. And, one of the places that I do is, no, you're fine, Nancy. Thanks for joining. One of the things I have to do here. Now, I can call it Tinker's Hollow at some points in the videos, but basically when I advertise it, I'm not gonna like go into a whole lot of depth on it, but I had somebody totally flip out over the fact that I'm using the name Tinker's Hollow, and want to get a lawyer to sue me on that. Turns out he can't, but nonetheless, I'm just gonna kind of change the name of that for now, because I'm not doing hikes to upset anyone. I'm not doing any of these hikes to spark rage from anyone. I'm doing them to investigate and explore, and I like going where the activity is. Tinker's Hollow is one of those places where the activity's high. And so I'm just going to kind of call it Creepy Hollow from now on. So you'll see that in the choices. And I do got a hike. I did a follow-up hike down there, but I'm going to put out some viewers' choices. I want to do a poll, and I want to see like what area you guys vote on that you'd like want to see. And what I'll do is I'll rearrange my playlist on my channel. I'll put all of the videos into Sleepy Hollow, but then they're going to confuse it with the one in New York. That's the only reason I don't want to do that. If I do Sleepy Hollow, people are going to be like, wait a minute, this isn't New York, you know, because Sleepy Hollow is a real place on the Hudson River in New York. That's where the legends grew out of that place. That's kind of why, yeah, it is all my fault. Yeah. It's all my fault that the kids trespass down there, that they set up targets and do target practice down there. It's my fault that some drug addict went down there and OD'd. So, but, and I do ask around, and that people are saying that they really like that, but I ask them, where did you hear about it from? And you know what most people say? Either just the legends and lore that people have told over the years, or they say the paper for the county, the Star Beacon, because they did a huge article on the place several years ago, you know, long before I was ever out doing any of these hiking videos. The Star Beacon put a massive article out on that place, hyping it up of how creepy it was, and all of the ghost stories and legends on it. And that has got people going down there. Now, if somebody watched my video and said, I want to go down there, probably, but not. I give a disclaimer that all of this property is privately owned. You are not allowed to trespass on it. You're not allowed to go on it without their permission, and don't do it. So, but I did, one of the property owners down there that has a gate to the entrance to his property, somebody busted the lock on it. So I snapped a picture of that and I sent it to him and said, hey, somebody busted your lock, wanted you to know. And he flipped out and blamed me for it. Said, you're the reason that happened. And I said, I was down there in the daytime when we found it, and I'm like, I didn't do that. I had nothing to. I've stopped, and when I tried telling him, I said, look, I've stopped people from trespassing on your property. So, yeah, exactly. So, but he said my videos are the reason for that. Yeah, exactly. I am, and that's the thing is I am, and especially when I go down there, I start off that one with the disclaimer: you can only be on the road. The road is owned by the state and is public property, and you cannot be anywhere else but on the road. And I said I just did a hike down there, and I'm telling you, I stayed on that road the entire time. So, and still had an epically creepy night. That'll be coming out in the future here. But so I'm going to continue. I'm going to be getting some of these good shots. You see all these places at night. I'm going to try to get you some of the, some day shots, just some of the short videos of some of the places where I go, where at night, how creepy it is. and I'll get some of the shots in the daytime so that you can just see how beautiful it is, and you can see all these areas, why I love being in them, even when they're creepy. So I'll get some day shots of some of the places, and I'm gonna do some of that stuff, and hopefully I don't get shot at again when I'm doing it. But it is hunting. I mean, it's yeah, the drone, and that's something I'm gonna see if I got John. John's my tech department, and I know he's probably palm the face right now, because he's gonna help me set up. He's gonna help me get the new camera set up, and I'm gonna see if, between me and him, if we can try to get that drone put back together, and because so Asbury Woods in Erie County. I have heard of that. I don't know if it is or not, but Asbury Woods, that's within a 30-mile radius of me. So I'll scout that area out and see what it's like. And because that'd be interesting. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. And and I do got a preference. Didn't any of you guys remember the old TV sitcom, Tool Time? It was a Home Improvement. It's called, with Tim the Toolman Taylor. Okay, anytime I try to fix things, right here, Tim the Toolman Taylor, I usually knock a hole in the wall or break something or bust a screw off in the camera. So, okay, someone else has a comment on here. It says, because it's about the VA, so I want to see this. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. John's a former employee of the VA, and he has no good things to say about it either. So I have heard people say how much they like the care from the VA, and I'm literally like, when I see that, I'm like, what the heck did you have before? Yeah. So yeah, exactly. I don't think so, Tim. That's what John has to say to me. I don't think so, Ted. So, but when me and John, when we're trying to do something together, I'm like Tim the Toolman Taylor, and he's like Al. And especially like with the TV, with the camera going too. That's what me and John, we're like, it's Tim and Al. So, gosh. But yes, John's helped me with some of my, and I got to do the air quotes on this, home improvement projects. And yes, I have knocked holes in the wall, and my wife comes home geeked out, and then she gets mad at John for letting me knock a hole in the wall. Ken, you used to live up there, Asbury Woods, right off, okay, Mill Creek. Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you, Ken, if you would, sorry about that cough there. I was going to ask you, Ken, if you had ever heard of Asbury Woods, because that's not, Mill Creek, that's not too far away from where you used to live. All right, thanks, Nancy, and I'm gonna get to work on that. Tomorrow, I'm gonna put out the short video of the stick structure that me and John found. And again, now take into account, we had a tree pushed over on us there too. And if you watched any of my Indian Mound videos, I've had some creepy nights back there where I was on camera, of rocks thrown at me, strange sounds, howling, all kinds of other creepy things happen. Yeah, Ken, I know. Oh, you used to walk around. Was it Asbury Woods? You used to walk around there. And I checked that Bigfoot mapping project and BFRO. I check those areas and see where sightings have been, and it's like, well, if there's a sighting there and it's close to me, I'm like, I'll go check that out. Let's see what it has there. I also am constantly talking to fishermen and hunters that I run across to see what activity they got. And you know, like that's how I'm like checking out a lot of these areas. Is I'm talking to a lot of other people who said they've had, you know, these creepy things happen there. I started doing them at the hikes at Camp Pete because I had someone contact me and tell me they had, I guess, literally what they would call, they didn't know what to call it. They seen it, but they looked like not dog men, but he said they were literally like the weirdest shaped canines that they had ever seen, and there was 3 of them, and but he says, and they were walking upright. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go. So I'm like, well, we got to go down there and check it out. And like I said, that's an area where I've had probably the most rocks thrown at me of any area is Camp Pete. I know I had one night where it was up to somewhere around 30 rocks thrown at me. Just rock after rock has come from, and they'll follow me the whole time. But Camp Pete, I bring John back there, and we will have a peaceful, quiet walk. They literally hide from John. So, but it's like, I think it's with 2 of us there, it's like that. When I had cameraman and MT and Marianne out there, we had stuff happening, but we were also antagonizing to get it to happen too. So, all right, Nancy, thanks. I appreciate that. And we're right about at that hour mark here too. So I appreciate you guys joining me on a Friday night too, and impromptu at that, because this was not my initial plan. I do want to thank all you guys here. We'll start to wrap this up here. So I have coming up here in the future, I got the hike through I gotta say it for legal terms, Creepy Hollow, wink wink, nod nod, and the marsh. I got a daytime hike in Bigfoot Canyon, so you can see that how beautiful that place is, and some good short videos of several of the beautiful areas around here. And like I said, I got Oil City, Pennsylvania is about as far away as Jack and MT are from me, just going the opposite way, going east. Yeah, right. So we're going to have some stuff there. MT is going to be here in the near future, is going to be venturing up this way because there's a couple areas he's hoping to get to check out. And so I have those ones on the horizon. And yeah, Tommy Cooper. Yep, that's who I'm going to be going down to see. So, thanks. I appreciate that you mentioning him like that. And another one here, Corky, you see on here. He's another really good guy. I've gotten contact with from doing this, and he's got a property. He's literally, these things come into his backyard all the time, and he catches some great evidence and doesn't have to leave his backyard to do it. And that's what I've said to him. I'm hoping sometime soon I come out there to want, take a drive and come out to your property. And yep, I'll be with him. I'll be with Tommy, and we're gonna hopefully have some good adventures down there with Tommy, and hopefully Tommy. Tommy's a good guy to take out there with because Bigfoot's going to kill him first. So, because it always happens to him. So, we got some really good hikes coming up here. Like I said, and I'm going to try to get out as much as I can during the month of October, because that's just like prime time for this. And no. Why is he has Tommy been to your house, Corey? If he has, then I'm gonna say I'm jealous, and you're gonna invite me out there too. So, but what is she said? Yeah, right. I don't have to be fat. I don't have to be faster than everyone. I need to just not be the slowest. Right. That was one of our concepts of when we were in a group of friends in high school. Our concept was you just needed to not be last. And so literally, if there was a reason to run, one of our friends used to push one of us down and then run. So, like I said, yeah, if something's chasing you and you got other people with you, you just need to not be the last one. So, well, all right. Now I'll talk to him when I'm out there. We'll probably be talking about you when I see him. So, and like I said, we gotta get out there, and I know you're. I just want to look at, like, I've watched some of his stuff that he puts out, and it's like he's caught some images of these things, and he's got a little. I don't want to say it's. I'd actually say it's almost like a relationship with these things. They're definitely not violent towards him, and they don't damage his property. But they definitely make sure that they know he's there. They know that these things know that he'll know that these things are there. So, all right, guys. With that, I'm going to let you guys go enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. I'll have a short out tomorrow, and I will probably put a short out on Sunday as well. And then I believe it'll be Sunday. I'll be off to Oil City, and then we got some more coming up later in the night, later in the week. We're gonna get some good videos out. So, all right. So everyone, thanks for joining me. Ken, John, Corky, Nancy, Eric, all the rest of you guys I didn't catch. If I didn't miss some of you there, I apologize. But thank you very much, guys. I want to say thank you. Thank you for being on here tonight, and we'll do this again soon, and we'll get some more videos on here, and we'll be having some now coming up to a YouTube screen near you. There's going to be some better quality videos with the new camera. So get ready, because once I get playing around with that and really get effective at using it, these are going to be much better. So look forward to some great videos coming out. And yes, Ken, I expect wisecracking out of you. That's what you get out of me, is wisecracking. There's always jokes in my videos. So Gen X humor. So on that note, guys, I want to say God bless you. And I really appreciate you, and everyone, even all the way from Melbourne, Australia, from Cumberland, Maryland, and wherever else you guys are. This is T-Mac for T-Mac's American Experience, saying God bless you, and you guys have a wonderful weekend.